Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode Lucky 13 here on Silverrun with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, we're down here at the roller coaster. As you can see, we're hung up on tables and chairs, and I have some on our trailer here that we'll offload in just a second. I don't know if this is going to be the last delivery, but boy, things are looking like they're getting close to being done anyways. You can see the roller coaster sign is completed up there. I know that was one thing. There were some components still sitting down here the last time I was here, but they're up there now. So we'll get these delivered here shortly. Also today, I need to go and grind some stumps where we've been logging because they're getting to be a nuisance. So that's on the docket for today. And we need to do a train delivery. We need to get that done, man. We got stuff stacking up everywhere. I just wanted to get this roller coaster delivery done first and see if there was anything that it might need, or if this is the last delivery. Let's see if we can't get both of these and do it in one trip here. There we go. And then once we get that train delivery done and we see how our money's at, we'll kind of decide where we go from there. I do need to make delivery of some long planks to a couple of our productions, so I'll do that off camera. Probably while we're waiting for this roller coaster to finish processing the 88 liters of each of these it requires. Oh, there we are. Found the trigger there. So we'll let this process. Our ship is going to be hung up on fabric again. I can tell that already. So that's going to be the story there. But that's all right. That'll give us time for our sawmill to get caught up on the production of long planks. So I think I will leave you there for now, and we'll go and take care of a couple of those deliveries while we wait for this to process, and I'll bring you back in at that time. So we'll see you then. Well, we're back down here at the roller coaster. I made those deliveries I had mentioned earlier off camera, and then I'd sped time up a little bit just to give the roller coaster an opportunity to complete processing those tables and chairs, just to see what was going to happen. And bingo, there we go, a bunch of required materials again. And speaking of fast forwarding time, you may not have noticed, but I did jump ahead to July 1st before I started this episode. We were at the end of June when I left you last time, and I forgot to mention that. So I have learned that under the storage, there's only so many lines available for it to display the materials that are in storage, and I have been over delivering because there were materials in storage that were not displayed or not in the list. So I think what we're going to do, seeing as we're at pretty near the end of the day here, is we'll just sleep through the night, and that'll give the roller coaster opportunity to process the materials we do have in storage, and then we'll have a more accurate list of what is actually required. I have checked all our productions, and we can go till tomorrow before we do the train delivery, but it just keeps getting bigger. But one thing I want to take a look at is what I did is on the old sawmill, I took the planks and I've set it now to distributing. I had delivered a bunch of planks to the productions that needed it, and we produced way more planks than the productions require. And I thought there's no reason not to put that on distributing, and then when the internal storage gets close to full, we'll take them out and sell them. So that'll be just a few deliveries that I don't need to be doing, because we're not showing those on camera anymore really anyways. We've done so many of them. So having said all that, I will run back home, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, and we'll see what we need for the roller coaster. So catch up with you then. Well, it's the next morning, July 2nd. You can see that the roller coaster is still chugging away, but the numbers are getting pretty small. So I think we'll leave that go. I was up earlier this morning. I did clear out some of the stumps up where we were logging. I'm sure I've missed lots, but at least we can maneuver around a little bit better. I brought the Volvo down and I grabbed our portable fuel tank here because some of our logging equipment is starting to get low on fuel. So I also bought a drum of diesel there. We'll fill this up and we'll take it back up to our logging location so we can fill up our logging vehicles. It's pretty flat where we were logging, so I really wasn't using the Volvo for yarding like I had been. So we'll use it to pack this fuel around for now. Now our money has gone up. That is because Mikey completed another sculpture, and I did do some vehicle repairs that ate into that a little bit. What I did is I just put the portable toolbox down and repaired our forestry equipment, but like it was like $3 grand to repair our tree harvester again. I do have a piece of equipment in mind that'll replace the Volvo for the purposes of logging, and we'll just move it back to the farm and use it on farm tasks. We're making pretty good progress here at the logging area. About half of the trees removed, I'd say, something like that. Still a little ways to go. That we're going to turn into some type of farmland, but once we get it done, we'll have to move, and we'll just move to a forestry only area. I don't think we'll take and make any additional farmland. We'll buy up what's available as farmland. We'll turn that little area into field, and again we're going to do some grass off to the right, so there'll probably be a few trees we'll take out there, but that'll be it as far as farmland expansion, I'm thinking. So I'll probably take another load of trees out of here while we're waiting for the roller coaster too. Don't really need them anywheres, but if we got it already... Oh, see, there's a stump right there I missed. I told you I would have missed some. But we might as well, while we've got the time, get it loaded up. I know the truck is in pretty good need of fuel. I just put the winch attachment up by our rock splitter there at the metal factory, or the iron furnace. Oh, got a little close there. That one's full. And like I said, I just used the toolbox to repair all of these rather than haul them. Oh, rock there. This is the thing we need to get rid of too. It's costing us a fortune in repairs. There, everything's all fueled up here. We'll just park this over here out of the way. And it'll be here when we need it. Oh, Another rock. All right, I'm going to load up a truckload of logs, and then we'll head back down to the roller coaster and see where we're at there. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Well, there we go. Another load of logs ready to be delivered to wherever they are needed. And I realized I shouldn't assume everybody is familiar with the toolbox mod I was talking about. So if we go in under construction and then go under tools, there's a toolbox and we can place it. Let's find an open area here. And once we put it down, we can actually pick it up and move it wherever we need it to do our vehicle repairs, like so. And just click on it, and it's a workshop trigger. Oh, or mustn't have had it close. Oh, got it facing the wrong way. Got to have the latches towards the vehicle. So let me get that turned around. There we go. Now, one thing about it, although you can't pick it up and move it, every time you restart the game, it's going to show up wherever you placed it. So if we were to quit and come back in, it'd go back in this area, and you can't strap it down. I have used it in the back of vehicles. The Kubota, for example, the little side-by-side, but it doesn't strap in there, so it bounces out pretty easy, so you have to drive pretty careful. But that's as close as we've got it to a portable service vehicle, I guess, is putting this in a Kubota or a pickup truck or something like that. But what I did here is I just dropped it down like that, and then when I was done with it, I went back to construction and just got rid of it. So you get half your money back. So anyways, I will meet you down at the roller coaster, and we will check and see what progress has been made there. So we'll catch up with you there. Well, there we go. Now we know that the roller coaster is just short of wood beams, planks, and shingles, and I have those sitting on the trailer here. And I'll get those unloaded here in a minute, but you'll see our money has gone down to 228,000, and that's because, well, I spent it obviously. But let's run over here and I'll show you what I spent it on. As you recall, I took what we were using to refuel to our logging area for our logging equipment. So I put it in a permanent diesel tank, and I put 3,500 liters of diesel in here. So that's where our funds went, on the tank and the fuel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get that trailer unloaded, and then yeah, it's like 4:30. We'll sleep through the night again, and we'll see where we stand in the morning, and we'll catch up with you then. Well, good morning. It's been a busy morning this morning. As you can see, I have loaded up a number of products here on our trailer. It's actually so full I couldn't get the skid steer back on it, so it's sitting at the flooring factory. But we were feeling some pressure. We were starting to get pretty close to full, so I loaded up what I could. Now our money has gone up because the pepper grinders and the bowls, actually the price was virtually the same at the cafe that's right across the street as going on the train. So I just sold them off this morning. So that brought us back up to 250,000. Now what I've done is I have unloaded our sprayer. Here's our fertilizer sitting here, and I have our tractor and sprayer sitting out on the field because if we look at our environmental score on that field in particular, you can see that nitrogen and liming, or pH, the top two, we haven't got credit for, but they're perfect in any case. So they're fine. We'll get credit for those once we harvest. Weed control is at 50% because we've done no weed control. Now there's no weeds on this field, but I'm going to show you something that I've done in precision farming that works almost all the time. It hasn't worked 100%, but like at least 80% of the time, maybe even more. Something I call faux spraying. So I'll explain some more when we get out to the field. So we're going to do that so we can't get our weed control up. Our tillage, I guess maybe usually that comes up right away, but Oh yes, sorry, we have it here for that section of the field. It is 100%. I guess we're getting. Oh no, that one says full tillage. Because we're getting hammered a bit on soil sampling and tillage, but I'm wondering if we take a look at the land we own, if it isn't taking now all of this into account, maybe. If it is, well, nothing we can do about that, but hopefully we can do something about the weeds. I just ran over and checked the roller coaster just before I started recording. It wasn't quite finished processing. There was 129 liters left the last time I checked, so we've got a little time. So I will meet you out in the field and we'll continue with this spraying project. See you in just a second. So you can see from our field information down on the right here that pH is perfect, nitrogen is perfect, and you'll notice we have no weeds. So, but what I have found, I've got our sprayer set up here and I've got herbicide in it, as you will see when we jump in the tractor. And I call it faux spraying, is if you just go and attempt to spray weeds, even if there's none there, often it will give you credit for spraying. So we'll give it a shot. Now, sometimes it happens instantly as soon as you turn it on, and other times you need to do a certain percentage of the field. So let's give it a go and see what happens. Like I said, it works most of the time. I'd say at least 80% of the time it works. But I have had some occasions where it hasn't tricked it. Now, if you can see the texture color change, you know for sure it's going to work. It's like this, when you don't see any texture changes, sometimes it doesn't work. You'll never see the spray go down because there's no weeds there to spray. Okay, let's just stop there and give it a check. Nope. Usually what I find is if I go around the whole outside of the field, it's often enough. Anyways, I'll carry on. I'll go around the field and then I'll bring you back in and see if we were successful or not. I'll see you in a minute. Well, of course, because I wanted to show you this little trick, it didn't work. It's like I said, majority of the time it does, but this time it just did not. Now, I haven't really paid that close of attention to see if there was any consistency as to when it doesn't work. As you'll notice, this is not a this is a field we made. It wasn't a field that was pre-built. So what we're going to do, because I had planned on doing it anyways, is we're going to buy this field here. This is a grass field. We're going to buy that. And we will try it on that field to see if it makes a difference if it's you know, a field that's pre-built in the game once we get it harvested. But we can put this away for now. Whoops, I fingered it there. What the plan is, that field's ready for harvest. We're going to take the grass off of there, and we'll take it off again in October, and then at that point we're going to plant barley in there because it's a nice flat field. And we might end up cropping this field we were just in, but we'll leave it for grass for now. But we need straw for our cows for when we get them. And we can plant barley in the fall here on this map. So that's what we're going to do in preparation for our cows, and we're going to just sell the barley off as a cash crop. So I'm going to get set up and I'm going to get the grass off there. I haven't quite decided if I'm definitely going to at least turn it to hay, but I might turn it to silage. We need hay and silage from TMR. I can't remember. Did we buy a... Oh, we have a tedder. So I'll probably put it to hay. And then it's good for the sheep and the cows. So I think that's what I'll do with that field. So I'm going to get set up and get that done. So I will catch up with you likely when the roller coaster is done processing. And I can give you an update where I'm at with that field. So we'll see you then. Well, there we go. It's what, 4:30 in the afternoon. I have been working on our new grass field, but I have been keeping an eye on the roller coaster, and it has finished processing for the last stage. And we now have a list of new materials that are required. A lot of these we do have in storage, so we'll do the same process as last time. We'll let it chew on these, and we'll see what it's actually missing. But I did notice that we actually have some cars here now. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end, but we'll know soon enough. Now, in the meantime, I was working on our new grass field. I guess we'll head over to the yard here without getting run over. So basically, we have 23 bales of hay sitting on that field right now. I haven't had the opportunity to pick them up yet. You will notice that the money has gone down, and that was in preparation of for the bales coming back to the farmyard. So I put in a bale shelter down here. I'll show you where it is. I stuck it right in here, so we've got some place to store our bales going forward. Now I was able to match up the siding, but I couldn't match up the roof color, so it is what it is, close enough. But I didn't really have any plans for this area. It did take a little bit of landscaping to flatten it out. You can see that there is a bit of a slope up to here. So I did have to flatten it out and paint it. So I spent 10,000 bucks on the shelter, and then the rest went on landscaping. We were at exactly 200,000, and so the last monies that are missing I spent on vehicle repairs. So that catches you up there. So what I'm going to do is I have this truck tied up with materials for sale. I have materials sitting up at the train, as you'll see in a minute. So we're going to call the train, or I am, and we're going to load up what we have available up there and get at least that much out of here, because we still have other products to pick up, the metal, paper rolls, things like that. So we're going to take care of that, and that's probably where we'll call it a day here on the farm, and then we'll check in with the roller coaster in the morning. So I'll see you up at the train, or up at the sawmill, I should say. All right, so we're up here obviously at the sawmill. So we have these products here that I dropped off earlier. We can sell almost all of these prefab walls, although it is in the list of what's required at the roller coaster. So I'll have to leave at least one of these behind. We have everything that's on this trailer here. So there's quite a good load on there. And then this trailer over here. Now we have just barely scratched the surface on the metal. I just wanted to make a little space for the production. But we still have another 3 rolls of paper and cardboard down there. So I would say, like, once we load up all the prefab walls, we'll be over half. But I mean, we'll still have some other products to sell, another pretty good train load. So I'm going to quit yakking. I'm going to get this stuff unloaded. So I'll let you know what we end up getting for all this. Well, there we go. The train is gone. We got $210,000 from that train load, so we're at $397,000. I was only able to get rid of a couple items out of this pile. We still have some prefab walls. I didn't have enough room for those. I did empty both trailers, and I did sell our extra planks, but I know we have some extra wood beams that need to go, and still have like a pile of metal and some more cardboard in that. So we have another train load easily. It won't, I think, match that 210,000, but it'd still be significant. So I know our roller coaster is short wood beams. I took a good look at what we had in storage versus what's required, and we're about was it 21 liters or something like that short of wood beams. So I'm going to load those up and take those to the roller coaster, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day working on our new field. I'm going to need to pick up the bales, I need to scan it, lime it, fertilize it, do all that drill. We're just going to leave it as it is. We'll get one more cut off this year. That will turn to silage. And our grass field will get one and maybe a half cuts off it. And that too, we're going to turn to silage. So we'll have hay and silage for our cows. So I'm going to work on that until it gets dark, and then fast forward through the night, and we'll see where we're at with the roller coaster tomorrow morning. At that point, I think we'll pretty much be at an episode, I think, but I'll check the times then. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do here. So I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow morning for another roller coaster update. Well, welcome to a very rainy July 4th here on the map. I checked the roller coaster and it's progressed, but not enough for us to be able to tell for certain what products we actually need to bring. It's still working on what's in storage. And I brought our tree harvester down, and we are going to upgrade this. Now, this is not a change in direction. The money we've been making, I am going to put to the farm. But what I am going to do is we're going to sell this, and then we are going to borrow what we require to buy the new one. Because on console we can't lease to own, and leasing gets to be a rather expensive proposition. It's better to borrow and pay the interest. But what we're going to do is we're going to treat the loan like a lease. We're going to pay a certain amount every month till we get it paid off. And of course, if we have any extra, we can put towards it. But we're going to use the loan like a lease to own type situation. So I'll get this offloaded and we'll get it sold, and we'll see where we're at. Well, there we go. That brings us up to 550,000, which will be enough to buy our new harvester, although it is going to be an expensive proposition. Like I said, I'm not going to use the money we were going to earmark for expanding the farm. I'm going to borrow back to that $400,000 level, but the reason I decided to do this was a few. The harvester was costing us a fair bit in repairs. Even if I repaired it pretty frequently, which I had been doing, it was like $3,000 a pop. And if I ignored it and let it get down to about half damage, then it'd be like 10 or 12,000. But even at that, it would still take a long time to pay back the 500 grand. But the other issue with it was having trouble with the large trees, and some were too large for it to even cut at all. The diameter is too large, and I had those ones I had to cut with a chainsaw and cut up. And that was getting to be a bit of a nuisance. I was running into a few of those up where we were logging. So it's for those kind of combined reasons I thought we'd upgrade it, and the fact that, you know, we want to kind of get things moving along. So I have picked out a harvester. I tested a number of them. One of the things was, you know, I wanted a heavy one, obviously, but I also didn't want to lose the ability for that automatic tree sensing or whatever the heck it's called. And so that pretty much, when I was all said and done, left us with one choice here, this one. And like, it's pricey, but I have tested it. It does the job. We'll put the wider tires on it. We'll put all the protection on it because we know who's driving it. And we'll put the fire extinguisher. So 475,000, and we will buy that bad boy. So there we go. Now I'll get it loaded up on the trailer, and we will take it up to our logging area, and we'll give it a quick try before we end the episode. The only thing I noticed with this, the controls are slightly different than the other tree harvesters, so it might take me a little while to get accustomed to it, but it handles those big trees very nicely, so that's the reason I went with it. The Scorpion King, which was cheaper, also did a pretty good job, but it didn't have that new feature that came out with the Platinum expansion, where it'll line up on the trees automatically for you. So I will see you at the logging area. Well, there we go. Made it up here no problem on our trailer, although I will say we couldn't have gotten a much bigger machine on our trailer. This is about the limit. I do have the help window open. Like I said, the controls are slightly different from the regular tree harvesters. Under R1, now you go up and down and side to side. Now the side to side is the same, but instead of up and down, the other tree harvesters was, bring the broom forward and back, and that's now under R1. So the just basically the R1 right stick up and down have swapped, if that makes sense. So it's just going to be taking me a little while to get used to that. But we did need this big harvester because the little one couldn't handle this tree here at all. The diameter was too large. And even on some of the larger ones, the diameter wasn't so bad. It was a little light. It struggled with them. It kind of threw them around. And it has that tree sensing, which I really like. Whoops. Although it doesn't seem to be. This is where I gotta remember. This harvester has no trouble at all with those big trees. Nice. That's far better than cutting them down by hand and then chopping them up. Oops. Yeah, I think this will do the job for us. I just got to remember the change in the controls and we'll be fine. But I'm sure once we use it for a little bit, we'll be well used to it. See, with trees like this, that little harvester would sometimes be pulled partway onto its side until it got the first cut off, just because it just wasn't heavy enough. Well, there we go. Now, I am going to top up the productions. They're down a little bit, but I think I will bring that container up because I do want to get this also logged off so we can start farming it. This land and the little piece across the way, figures predominantly in our farm expansion plan. So up till now, I've just been taking in enough to keep the productions going, but I think we'll get after it a little bit more seriously and get it logged off. So I will bring our money back up to 400,000 before I see you next time. And that will be when the roller coaster is ready to be serviced again. In the meantime, I will work on this logging. Oh, and I forgot to mention about our field. I got our bales picked up, and as it turns out, if we take a look, that actually isn't a numbered field. It's a meadow, I guess, and I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't scan it or anything. So it was just like the field across here. So we'll have to plow it out to be able to do anything with it. So we'll just leave it as it is till spring, because depending where we are with our logging up over here, we'll determine what we do with that field, whether we crop it or put grass in it. So forgot to mention that earlier. But that will be it for this episode. So I will see you. It'll probably be into next month because I don't know if the roller coaster, by the time it gets done, it'll probably late in the day and I might just skip ahead through the night again. So we'll see you when we're ready to throw whatever we have required into the roller coaster. So until then, we'll call this an episode. So if you're still with me, really appreciate you watching. If you found it entertaining or informative in any way, encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit the old notification bell. And of course, as always, feel free to comment. Until next time, Farmer Murphy signing off.